Well, our annual visit to the Budweiser bleachers. We are in the brand new Budweiser patio out in right field, and a gorgeous night for Chicago Cubs baseball as the Cubs take on the Brewers in Game 2 of a 4-game series. And we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. And Bob, great to be out here. This is a great view here from the Budweiser patio, and a big day for the Cubs. Starlin Castro gets a new 7-year contract, and if Darwin Barney can go errorless tonight, he'll tie a National League record.
Well, you know, Len, a lot of uncertainty with the 2012 Cubs team, but it's really nice to know that moving forward, Starlin Castro is going to be in the fold, and Darwin Barney, two very key members of any team, your shortstop, your second baseman. Hopefully these guys will be able to work together for years to come.
Well, the Cubs need to figure out a way to get these guys out. They went off last night in a Milwaukee 15-4 win.
Well, they're exactly as they come described, run producers, and one of the keys is keeping the guys off base ahead of them. But you know, Braun and Ramirez are going to do damage. Just try to limit that damage.
Left-hander Travis Wood will try to snap a 7-game losing streak. Yovani Gallardo has not lost since the Brewers traded Zach Greinke. So we're set to go. Game 2, gorgeous night here at Wrigley Field. Stay with us.
Hey, Len and Bob, good luck out there in the bleachers today. It's good to know you have my back.
By Budweiser. A reminder from Budweiser, great times are waiting, designated driver. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Illinois Lottery. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Let's get Ron Renicke's Milwaukee Brewers starting lineup last night in the middle of the order. Back-to-back-to-back homers for the 5th time in franchise history. Big year for Aoki, who will be playing right in front of us in the bottom of the first. Ricky Weeks at second. He had 3 hits. Braun, Ramirez, Hart. Those are the guys who went deep in the ninth. Martin Maldonado will catch. He made an out against Joe Mather. Carlos Gomez in center. Jeff Bianchi gets the start at short. And Yovani Gallardo can hit. He won a Silver Slugger a couple of years ago.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively tonight behind Travis Wood. Brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Soriano in left, Jackson in center.
Hey, what's your name?
David DeJesus right in front of us in right field. Balbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo third to first across the infield. Wellington Castillo behind the dish tonight for left-hander Travis Wood. See the numbers on the season for Travis Wood, looking to end the 7-game losing streak tonight. Last pitched against the Brewers up at Miller Park, had a rocky first inning, gave up 3 doubles in the first, but pitched very effectively into the 7th inning in that ball game after the first.
Trying to end a personal 7-game losing streak as he faces Norichika Aoki, and a called strike. Out here in the Budweiser patio tonight, David DeJesus saying hello before the top of the first. That's a strike according to Chris Guccione behind the plate. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. We've had wonderful weather here the first 2 nights of this series. And we deserved it after Sunday. After it rained all day.
All day long. Game was delayed over 2 hours at the start. Another rain delay going into the 9th inning. Long day of baseball. And rain.
Travis Wood, 25 years old, 5'11", 175 pounds, and the Cubs got him from the Reds in December, 2 days before Christmas. .72 degrees, a light breeze out of the northeast, and great to be out in the bleachers. In the hole at short, it's Castro, and he gets him.
Occasionally, Len, that shortstop can be distracted by the third baseman diving in front of him, but this time Castro stays right on it. Balbuena with the diving attempt. Boy, nice quick release that time. Just planted that right foot, used that strong arm to gun down Aoki at first base. No wasted movement that time.
Cubs general manager Jed Hoyer and Starlin Castro met the media to announce his 7-year extension with a club option for an 8th year. That would be the year 2020. And his improvement in his work habits defensively, one of the big reasons the Cubs gave him this contract. They believe he will be a career-long shortstop. One strike pitch to Ricky Weeks hits him. That's not a big surprise. The Brewers get hit a lot.
They never like to put a guy on base via the hit by pitch, but I think it's vitally important for Travis Wood tonight to pound that inside part of the plate against these right-handed hitters on the Brewers lineup. Just can't let him lean out over the plate. Time to look at tonight's Mazda drive to victory, and what the Cubs need to do tonight is knock on wood. Mentioned the 7-game losing streak. You know he wants to snap that tonight. And for the Brewers, well, their ace is wild. Giovanni Gallardo has been on quite a roll, 4-0 in the month of August. Drive to victory brought to you by your local Chicagoland Mazda dealer. See your Chicagoland Mazda dealer for a test drive today at driveamazda.com.
Here's Ryan Braun. He takes a fastball outside. That's the 48th batter the Cubs pitching staff has hit, 3rd most in the majors. The Brewers have now been hit 74 times. That leads the majors. They've only hit 28 opposing batters, the fewest.
Well, in order for Travis Wood to be effective with that cutter on the outside corner to right-handed hitters, the change-up fading away on that outside corner to right-handed hitters, he needs to make sure they're not leaning out over the plate. Use that cutter on the inside part of the plate, and that time he clipped Ricky Weeks. Braun sends this one foul.
And tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting, provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader.
And for Ryan Braun, this is Miller Park South.
Ground ball to third. They get one at second. Relay throw and plenty of time. A 5-4-3 inning-ending double play, and the Cubs are coming up. Soft drink of Major League Baseball, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Our good buddy David DeJesus is going to lead it off. Valbuena gets a start at third tonight. Rizzo at first, Alfonso Soriano in left. Starlin Castro spoke very highly of his veteran teammate during his news conference today. Castillo catches. Brett Jackson's had a hot homestand. Barney at second, and Wood the pitcher.
Take a look at the Brewers defensively. Brian Braun, Carlos Gomez, and Norchika Aoki in right field. Ramirez, Bianchi, Weeks, and Hart third to first across the infield. Martin Maldonado doing the catching tonight for right-hander Giovanni Gallardo.
Bob, he was 8-8 when Zach Greinke was dealt to the Angels in late July. Since then, Gallardo has gone 5-0 with a 2.02, so he's really stepped up. And he beat the Cubs last Wednesday in Milwaukee.
In that ball game, David DeJesus led off the top of the first with a home run against Gallardo. He gave up a home run in the first, a home run in the seventh, 2 harmless singles in the middle, and that was it for the Cubs offense.
Sinker is low. 1-1.
Gallardo will feature a fastball, slider, curveball mix. He does throw a changeup on rare occasions, but his top 3 pitches are really good.
Working with Martin Maldonado here tonight. That sinker right at the knees, 1-2. Three lefties to start the Cubs batting order, with Valbuena and Rizzo to follow. '21 quality starts. That leads the majors.
Might take us an inning or two to get used to this different perspective, partner. When the batter swings a bat, I'm not always sure where the ball is, but we'll catch up to speed here. That's why I never played right field.
Good shot from Third base side of the Cubs dugout. Swing and a miss on a rising heater. You saw Gallardo's given up 20 home runs. Travis Wood has allowed 22. Wind blowing in tonight, but not that hard.
Cubs pitching staff could have used a little more wind blowing in last night. Ooh, wow. Some real loud homers off the Brewers bats, especially Ryan Braun.
Off the outside edge. And the third baseman, Valbuena. The Brewers set a club record. That was the most runs, 9 they'd ever scored in the 9th inning of a ball game. As Valbuena singles with 1 out, that's the first hit.
Valbuena's been swinging the bat well over the last couple of weeks. Occasionally he's hit into some tough luck, but this time stays right on a breaking pitch out over the plate and lines it into center field for the first Cubs hit of the game.
The Budweiser patio, great place to catch a ball game. You've got the bleacher feel. You've got kind of a rooftop feel. You've got a luxury box feel, all wrapped into one. Gallardo with a 1-0 pitch to Rizzo. It's right down the middle. I was talking with Dale Swaim about Rizzo on defense, and he is very pleased with his glove work, his throwing arm, his poise at first. A very important position. Good at digging throws out in the dirt. I know Starlin Castro and the Cubs third baseman appreciate that. And we've been spoiled. Derek Lee and Carlos Pena, and going back to the 90s, Mark Grace.
Yeah, and we've talked at length about Anthony Rizzo's ability to slow the game down. Very important when you're in the batter's box, but equally as important when you're out there fielding your position. And first base is a vitally important defensive position. You need somebody that's confident in their abilities and makes good decisions.
Slider was low, 3-1. Good pitch to hit. He thought it was inside. 3-2. Why, thank you. You can email us or send us some peanuts. Len and Bob at Tribune.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter as well. Yes, you can reach us via email, even in the bleachers. Runner goes. And he's out. And called strike 3 on Rizzo. Strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the inning. 0-0 after 1.
And America know that during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high def channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that shows you all of our different live camera angles right here at Wrigley Field. It's pretty cool, so if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, give a look to AT&T UVerse channel 780 or high def channel 1780.
Well, partner, you weren't paying attention. David DeJesus tossed the ball into the bleachers here. We were waving at him. Travis Wood back to work against former Cub Aramis Ramirez. What a night he had last night. A double, 2 homers, a single, 4 knocked in. And as you always say, watch for that first pitch in and at bat, and he was hacking away as he fouled off.
And it really doesn't matter if it's a fastball, change-up, breaking pitch. If you throw it in the strike zone on that first delivery, he's going to have a good pass at it, especially with runners in scoring position.
Now, with 332 career homers as a third baseman, he's tied with former Cub Gary Gaetti for 7th. He's 5 behind Hall of Famer Ron Santo. Ronnie hit 337 technically as a third baseman. Well, lefty coming back on a 1-2, fouled straight back. And Bob, when you were a catcher and a guy on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball fouled it straight back, what did that tell you?
Tells me he's always sitting on fastball, and Ramirez will always be ready to hit a fastball. And when you foul it straight back, it means he's right on it. So you've got to do something, change location, change speeds. That time it looked like he came back with a sinker on that outside corner. Maybe elevate the fastball a little bit higher than Ramirez can handle. Just avoid those hittable strikes.
Sets up a 2-2. Swing and a miss on a changeup for strike 3.
Boy, for me, Len, Ramirez more so than any other Brewer hitter. I think you can intimidate him a little bit. If you show him you're going to pound him in on the hands early in the game or early in a series, he's not quite as anxious to lean out over the plate. We saw that in his time here with the Cubs, and I'm sure it still holds true with the Brewers. Unfortunately, the Cubs pitching staff didn't make enough good pitches on him last night, and he got real comfortable.
Ball 1 to Corey Hart. Made a big defensive play in that game last night. It was 15-4, but it was a close game, and the Cubs had many chances to tie or take the lead in the middle to late innings. Milwaukee with 10 runs in the final 2 innings, which skewed the final result.
Yeah, I mean, Alfonso Soriano with the bases loaded hit a rocket to the right side of the field. Corey Hart was the only defender on the right side, and he made the play.
Brett Jackson will have to play this one on the warning track as Hart will pull into second with a double. That's the Brewers' first hit as they extend a long extra base hit streak. 67 consecutive games with an extra base hit. And last night's game cost Alex Hinshaw a spot on the roster. The left-hander who gave up those homers in the ninth, designated for assignment. Right-hander Blake Parker is back from the 60-day disabled list. He had been out with a stress reaction in his right elbow, went on the DL on June 6th. Here's the catcher Maldonado. He bounces back to Wood. They've got Hart caught up in a rundown. And Wood will apply the tag for the out. Nicely done.
That is the best kind of rundown right there. Travis Wood handled that perfectly. Take an angle to force that runner back to the bag he's coming from. Run at him. And if you can, go ahead and apply the tag yourself. Why waste a throw? Travis Wood executes it perfectly.
So 2 outs in the inning. And here's Carlos Gomez. Ball 1. Gomez went 4 for 5 with a home run. Good block by Castillo. And 2-1. Brewers have dominated this season series. They've won 11 of the first 14 games. They've taken 6 in a row against the Cubs and now 18 of 23 dating back to last year. It was just fun for us to walk out here. Walked through the upper deck down the right field line, getting a good look at the different angles to watch a ball game. And I'll tell you what, there are so many great views here. There's a base hit in the left. Maldonado will advance to second. 2 hits in the inning.
So the thing I'm always amazed by, Len, when you walk around Wrigley Field is not so much the view of the field itself, because that's always good, but what you see in the background. If you're out in the left field bleachers or in the upper deck in left field, you can see the Chicago skyline. Up in the left field upper deck, you can see out toward the lake. From our view, we had a beautiful view of the sunset tonight. Everywhere you look, just a postcard.
Jeff Bianchi, the shortstop, takes a pitch outside for a ball. 3rd stint with the Brewers this year. Made his debut on July 13th. He started his career 0 for 15, but he's gone 4 for his last 4. Actually, the Cubs took him on waivers from Kansas City in the offseason, and a few weeks later the Brewers grabbed him from the Cubs on waivers. Outside 3-0. Gallardo's on deck. He has 9 career home runs. He hit 4 in 2010. Won the Silver Slugger. Swinging away on 3-0, deep to left, and a 3-run homer. Jeff Bianchi with his first career shot. He got the green light on 3-0.
The real mistake for Travis Wood was falling behind 3-0 to the 8 hitter in the lineup. That'd be a lot more aggressive to a guy hitting in the 8th spot, batting .211 on the season. Put himself in a count where he had to throw a strike. It was up in the zone, and Bianchi with the green light made him pay.
Well, the home run ball has been a real problem for Travis Wood during this stretch. It's the 15th home run he's allowed, starting with his first loss of this current 7-game skid. So Bianchi, who got his first career RBI last night, cranks his first home run, as this one will just get out of play behind the Brewer bullpen.
Boy, and we can really see from here, Len, the danger of that bullpen mound. It's one thing to sit up in the press box looking down at the field or watching on the screen, but we're really close to that visitor's bullpen. You can see how high that mound is, the serious slope on the backslide, and that's what David DeJesus has to deal with on those foul balls over near the side wall.
One-two pitch. Castillo tried to pull it into the strike zone but didn't get the call. 2-2. And now it's full 3-2. Line shot. Soriano with a great catch right up against the wall. He's got so much better going back on balls in the warning track. 3-0 on the homer.
A 7-year extension for Starlin with an option for an 8th year. Starlin, only the most talented players get to the big leagues at 20. I'm sitting here with a 22-year-old veteran right now, and that was a big part of our decision. The way it was looking, Starlin would be a free agent far too early. He's a big part of our future, and we had 4 years of control of him after this year, and by doing this deal, we now have 8.
Cubs general manager Jed Hoyer and Starlin Castro earlier today. That's our AT UVerse replay. See what's possible with AT UVerse high-speed internet. AT&T, we think possible. Jeff Bianchi getting the nod at shortstop tonight and cranking his first career homer, a 3-run shot. It's 3-0. Soriano with a high fly right in front of us. Aoki makes a catch. He plays a very deep right field.
You're not going to hit it over his head unless it lands in the bleachers. He's only about 3 steps away from the warning track when he takes his position out here in right field. Plays one of the deepest outfields in the major leagues. And you may ask why. Usually it's because a guy feels a lot more comfortable coming in on the ball than going back on the ball, especially in a strange ballpark. So there he is right below us. Hey, throw something at him.
Well, let's talk about the deal. 7 years, reported at $60 million plus a club option for an 8th year. As Jed Hoyer said, they buy up the final 4 years, arbitration years leading into free agency, and they get the first 3 and maybe 4 years after he would have been due to become a free agent. And I think most significantly, they get Starlin Castro for the entire decade in his 20s.
And we know that's when the overwhelming majority of players are at their best physically. And we've seen the growth mentally of Starlin Castro. He's just going to continue to get better and better. I don't think he's the kind of guy that's going to be affected a lot by the money. Some players are. I think Alfonso Soriano will be a good mentor in that respect. Fonzie's made a lot of money for a lot of years, and we know how hard he works every year, not only in the offseason, but during the season to improve his skills and get better at his position. And I think Starlin Castro will follow that lead.
I wrote about it today on the blog, and I think we can both agree as you check out the blog, brought to you by Jeff Vukovich, nationwide agent serving the area for 33 years. Contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side, and right on cue, a base hit into center. Even in the most unlikely scenario that Starlin doesn't get better, if he gives the Cubs the kind of production offensively and defensively he's already given them, and again, I think that's unlikely, he should get better and better every year. I still think this is a good deal. I think the likeliest scenario, Bob, is that this contract will be a good bargain for the Cubs when it's all said and done.
And to take a slightly contrary view, there is no trade clause involved with this contract. So if at some point in the future the Cubs have a prospect coming up from the minor leagues, or there's a deal to be made to improve your club at several positions, they could possibly move Starlin Castro. It's a very manageable contract for most major league teams. Obviously that's not the primary concern, but the idea that if you had the need to move Starlin Castro, you'd be able to do so, I think that's very important as well. I mean, the Cubs have seen what happens with no trade clauses. Not always a good thing.
Ground ball foul. 1-1 on Wellington Castillo. Shortstop is a very difficult position to fill with a guy who will play, in Castro's case, maybe all 162 this year. Gallardo's pitch, swing and a miss. Good sink on that fastball.
He'll throw a couple of different fastballs. That sinking two-seamer down at the bottom of the zone. And if he wants to elevate up above the top of the strike zone, he'll use the four-seamer. A little better velocity, but a lot straighter.
1-2. Just low.
That's a tough one to take right there. Another sinker down at the bottom of the zone. Might have caught the bottom of the zone. Break for Wellington Castillo. Make it hurt.
Short lead by Castro at first. 2-2. Foul tip. Chris Guccione said he got a piece of that ball. Maldonado caught it, and Castillo strikes out.
Came on a big curveball that time. Castillo just couldn't hold up. He did check his swing, but unfortunately that bat got out into the hitting zone just enough to get a piece of the baseball. Foul it right into the mid of Maldonado for strike three.
Brings up Brett Jackson. He's hit 3 homers in the first 4 games of this homestand. We talked about the mechanical adjustments he has made since coming up to the big leagues, and Not only has he hit 3 homers in the 4 games, he's doubled, taken 5 walks, and scored 4 times.
But confidence is such a big part of any sport. If you feel confident that you're going to go up there and accomplish what you set out to do, whether it's get a good pitch to hit it hard, take your base on balls, occasionally hit the ball in the seats. Once you start feeling it up there in the plate, that'll carry a long way. And whether the mechanical changes that Brett Jackson has made are the reason for the production or whether it's just a coincidence, it doesn't matter. If you feel like you're going to do something good at the plate, better chance you are going to do something good.
He's gotten a couple of curveballs so far in this at bat. Well, swings and misses. Another one going outside. Keep you posted on all the other action tonight. Big one in Pittsburgh, and Pirates badly need a win, leading the Cardinals 7-0 after 5. Pedro Alvarez has hit his 24th home run. The Cardinals won last night. Pittsburgh is 3 games behind St. Louis for the final wild card spot. Now we've got a camera on everybody behind us. If they're making fun of us, we're going to find out.
That's right. Got to keep an eye, like a rear view mirror. We got to keep an eye on them back there.
Hart now playing behind Castro at first with 2 outs in the 3-2 pitch, and Jackson walks again.
This Sunday, September 2nd, is Chicago Blackhawks Day at Wrigley Field. Come watch the Cubs battle the Giants at 1:20. Throughout the game, lucky seat winners will receive special prizes, compliments of the Chicago Blackhawks. For more information and to purchase tickets, as always, visit Cubs.com.
So Darwin Barney with 2 on and 2 down into tonight, 112 consecutive games since his last error. So if he can get through this one without one, it would be 113. That would tie David Eckstein's National League record for a second baseman. Fly to right, Aoki with the catch, and that's the inning. Cubs strand 2. They trail 3-0 after 2.
is brought to you by Bud Light Lime-A-Rita, the ready-to-drink margarita with a refreshing twist of Bud Light Lime.
Here in the Budweiser patio, and congrats to Alyssa Griffin and 3 of her friends. Wave. The winners. They get to sit right next to us. Paula Ostroba, our stage manager, running interference here. So we don't bother them.
That's right.
They're focused on the game. Top of the order now for the Brewers, starting with Nori Aoki. He rips one foul. (3-0) on the Bianchi home run in the second. Well, it's been a long time for Travis Wood. He was in a great stretch. He won 4 consecutive starts. Mid-June into early July to end the first half, but it has not won since. 7 losses and a no decision.
Probably pitched well enough to win at least 3 of those 7 losses, but either the Cubs just couldn't score enough runs for him or didn't make the plays behind him, whatever the case may be, but still looking to snap that streak.
Prior to the game last night, Ricky Weeks had gone 2 for his first 43 against the Cubs this season. But he went 3 for 6 in the series opener. Change up in the dirt. Big sigh of relief for Chris Volstad. He was terrific in a rain-filled and ultimately rain-shortened 5-0 win on Sunday over the Rockies. His first win in his last 25 starts.
Sitting next to Joe Mather talking about pitches and grips, so forth. Joe Mather came into the ball game last night, got the final out in that fateful 8th inning. Says he throws a fastball and a hanging curve.
Emphasis on the hanging.
Yeah, maybe Chris Volstad can teach him a few more pitches just in case.
Fastball sitting at 80 miles an hour last night. Second time he's appeared in a big league game on the mound. He suffered a loss a couple of years ago with the Cardinals. He pitched 2 innings, the 19th and the 20th. Now the Cubs didn't run out of pitchers last night, but Sean Camp, very busy, was unavailable, and Dale, with his team down big, didn't want to use James Russell or Carlos Marmol, and as Weeks strikes out. It's not a good position for any manager and pitching coach to be in, but as he said, Bob, some of these other guys who are pitching with the Cubs down, they've got to get more people out.
Absolutely. You can't continue to come into those ball games, and granted the Cubs were already trailing by a wide margin, but you've got to find a way to get out. You can't just come in and throw batting practice and let the other team, in this case the Brewers, tee it up and see how far they can hit it. And I know it's a learning process. I know maybe guys are here a little bit before their time in some cases, but you still got to throw strikes. You got to get hitters out.
Braun and Prince Fielder are the only Brewers with 530 homer seasons. Fielder did it his final 5 seasons with Milwaukee before signing with Detroit. Even though they lost Fielder, offense has really not been the problem for the Brewers this year. Their bullpen blew a lot of leads earlier this season. They dropped out of the race. That prompted Doug Melvin to trade Zach Greinke. They've had some injuries. They recently released Randy Wolf. And Ron Renicky now starting to look at some of their younger players as they look ahead to next year. That's a fair ball down the left field line. And Braun has a 2-out double.
We talked about it briefly before the game. Just try to limit the damage. Travis Wood did a nice job of getting the first 2 hitters in this inning, and now Ryan Braun, he's going to get his hits. This time a double right down that third base line, but because Travis was able to get the first 2 hitters in the inning, so far no damage done.
By the way, it looks like Randy Wolf is close to signing with the Orioles. Here's Ramirez. He struck out in the second. Just outside for ball 1. First 2 for Wood, just inches off the outside corner. Now that's the area right behind us. You can walk around, mingle, and as you said, check out Sheffield, look at the rooftops across the street. Oof. Ramirez eyes got big on that swing. 2-1.
Yeah, and so far in this at bat, everything out over the plate. He missed away with 2 pitches and then finally does throw a strike, and it's out over the plate where Ramirez can get his arms extended. This would have been a real good at bat to buzz the tout. I'm not talking about hitting anybody in the head, but I mentioned it before. Ramirez does not like that ball off the inside corner of the plate. It will inhibit him from leaning out over the plate. You've got a base open at first anyway. And this would have been a good at bat to buzz one in there under his hands, keep him honest.
Braun at second, 2 down, and a 2-1 from Wood. Popped into right for De Jesus. And that's that. 2-out double, no runs. 3-zip Brewers in the third. For up to 200 guests for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to WrigleyvilleRooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF. Travis Wood takes a fastball at the knees. Oh, I like it.
It's magic. Oh, I got to get me one of those. I love it.
We have to show him that in the third
wow. Look at that. That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh. Here's a 2-strike pitch. Travis Wood drills one out into deep left center. Gone. His first as a Cub. The third of his career, and the Cubs are on the board. It's 3-1. The two guys on the mound tonight who can swing the bat.
Wow. Travis Wood with a line drive home run. Ryan Braun barely moved from his position in left field. Came on a fastball right down the middle. Travis Wood absolutely smoked it to the gap in left center. Up into the bleachers. Attaboy.
Came on an 0-2 pitch. And to Jesus. Out into right center, but Aoki will get it right on the edge of the track. Well, nothing but fastballs from Gallardo to Wood. I have a feeling next time around that'll change.
Yeah. Well, and Giovanni Gallardo is familiar with that too, as you mentioned. He can swing the bat himself, and I'm sure early in his career, until he established his reputation, a lot of opposing pitchers just threw him fastballs too. But when you start hitting the ball in the gap and up in the bleachers, you're going to be pitched like a hitter.
Valbuena takes a fastball high. Big swing and a foul tip. So Wood homered on September 4th of 2010 with the Reds at St. Louis off Adam Wainwright, and then last year on May 9th at Houston off of Neoy Rodriguez.
And Travis Wood hit that ball into the wind.
Borderline strike.
To be more like an outfielder when we're out here in the Budweiser patio. You got to look to your right to check the flags every couple of hitters, just to make sure.
Gallardo has not found the finger combination he likes just yet from his catcher. Now he does. And Valbuena takes it for ball 4. Time now to look at our Xfinity catcher profile. And as we were preparing for the broadcast here tonight, Michael Brenly hit his 6th home run of the season for the Tennessee Smokies.
Yeah, the excitement started early.
Protecting home for the Smokies. Xfinity Home offers state-of-the-art features that help you stay connected to your home and family anytime and anywhere. Rizzo swings over the top of a curveball. So what's the Smokies situation right now?
You know, I'm having a little trouble figuring it out, partner.
They finished the first half at 500, and they're currently 500 in the second half. Another curve, 0-2.
I don't believe they have a chance to make the playoffs, but they went on a somewhat of a winning streak here late in the season, and Michael was very encouraged by that. Thought they might have a chance to backdoor the playoffs, but I don't think so.
We'll check with our guy Mick Gillespie, see what the scenarios are.
Mick will know, yeah.
Congrats to the Boise Hawks. They're headed to the playoffs in the Northwest League. They've got a final 5-game homestand before the postseason starts. Two pitch, chased one in the dirt. The curveball was his nemesis in that at bat. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Soriano with the runner on and 2 outs. One of the other topics during the Starlin Castro news conference today was about Starlin kind of becoming a mentor to some of the younger players who will be coming to the big leagues, like Soriano has been to him. You may recall when Castro first got here, he actually stayed with Alfonso here in Chicago, and he's given him a lot of advice about how to handle himself on the field, and a lot of advice about signing a big contract, and we know Soriano's been through that.
I think that's so important, Len, for the veterans to use your word, mentor the young players. We talk about it all the time. Not only what you do on the field, because that comes naturally to most players, but how do you handle yourself off the field? How do you handle yourself in front of the media, in public situations? Soriano takes low for ball 4. Looked like Gallardo wanted nothing to do with Fonzie in that at bat.
2 walks in the inning. But as Dale Swain said, in terms of the kind of leader Castro will be, he said in a lot of cases, and a lot of guys he played with, and he didn't mention Robin Yount by name, but I'm sure he was referring to the kid. Really, your actions and the way you play on the field probably speak a little louder than your actual words do anyway. And I don't think Starlin's going to be a real vocal guy necessarily, but you just want him to go out and play hard and set a good example. But these are the types of things you start thinking about when you sign a long-term contract. We know one thing is he's going to be here for a while. We don't know how long a lot of the other guys on this roster will be here.
And you're always looking to build around guys that you think not only are going to physically go out and put up numbers and make plays defensively, but they're going to be that guy in the clubhouse. Maybe not the most vocal guy. He's probably not going to call a lot of team meetings or anything like that, but he'll take some younger players who are struggling under his wing and say, hey, I've been there. I was there just a couple of years ago. I know what you feel like. You know, I got your back. I'm here to help you in any way I can. Here's how I got out of my slump. Here's how I worked on my defense. Maybe it'll work for you. Anything to smooth out some of those speed bumps. And there's plenty of speed bumps.
Well, Gallardo keeps missing. Six consecutive balls. And a 2-0. On the ground is short. Bianchi down to a knee. He'll feed Weeks, and that'll end the inning. Wood led off the inning with a home run. His first as a Cub. Gorgeous night on the north side. 3-1 Milwaukee. So the next 4 weeks, and it starts to really toughen up. You've got the Giants and the Nationals next two opponents, and the Pirates on the road. Nice diving play by Valbuena as he gets Corey Hart. Ten-game road trip starting on a Monday in Washington. That's Labor Day. Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com.
Well, one of the longer road trips of the year for the Cubs. You know how many rubber worms I have to take on a 10-day trip, Len? I have to pack another suitcase.
There you go. But we will get closer to the field from our broadcast booth. We start about 28,000 feet above sea level in Washington, D.C. Then we're about 14,000 feet above in Pittsburgh. And then we go to Houston, where we're in an ideal spot. It'll be a final trip to Houston to play the National League Astros. So I mentioned earlier Maldonado grounded into a fielder's choice against Joe Mather. With Maldonado's team winning 15-4, was he getting a little grief from his teammates?
Yeah, he probably was. I mean, that's an unwinnable situation. You get a base hit, and your teammates are going to say, well, big deal. You got to hit off an outfielder. And you make an out, they're not going to let you forget that for a long time.
You're in a no-win situation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We invite you to stay tuned for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Captain Morgan. Says so right here. Raise your glass, always in moderation, to life, love, and loot. Tonight, you are going to be subjected to singing like you've never heard before.
Oh.
I'm warning the fans.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes. We and our friends here on the Budweiser patio will handle the stretch. Jam shot pop up. And the Brewers go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. They lead the Cubs 3-1.
The fourth inning. When you're a young catcher at the major league level, your day starts very early. That's Mike Borzello, staff assistant and catching instructor, doing the receiving, showing Wellington Castillo some of the finer points of framing pitches, holding them on the corner, and then Wellington Castillo gets in there. Mike is a hands-on guy, and good for him. He's got the knees to get down and demonstrate exactly what he wants Wellington Castillo to do.
Be followed by Jackson and Barney here in the fourth as Giovanni Gallardo tries to win his 6th in a row. 4-0 so far in August. This will be his final start of the month. It's a called strike. Roxon fires on a 1-2, and that curveball blown outside. Used that pitch a lot tonight. Called strike 3 on a fastball.
Hey, Cub fans, if you want to manage the game along with Dale Swain, log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape. Pools, patios, sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
So the Cubs have 5 strikeouts against Gallardo tonight. They have fanned at least 10 times in 9 games against the Brewers pitching staff this season. The Brewers last night engineered their 7th consecutive 10 strikeout plus game. That's the longest such streak in the modern era. The previous long 6 games set by the 1990 New York Mets. The Cubs did it twice in 06 and 08. 6 straight games with at least 10 strikeouts.
Yeah, strikeouts are one thing, Len. This is a major leagues. These are the best pitchers in the world, and on a given night, they're just going to be better than you as a hitter. But I think that last strikeout by Wellington Castillo is a good example of what upsets hitting coaches and managers. You cannot guess on a 2-strike count. Giovanni Gallardo just threw a fastball right down the middle on a 2-strike count to Wellington Castillo, and he didn't flinch. His hands didn't move. Nothing went toward the baseball. That's what Dale's talking about when he mentions grinding out at bats. When you get to those 2-strike counts, you've got to be ready to protect that plate. Occasionally swing at a bad pitch out of the zone, but you certainly can't take a fastball down the middle of the plate with 2 strikes.
Tickets are available for the remainder of the 2012 Cubs season, including the rest of this homestand. 2 more against the Brewers, 3 against the Giants. We'll go through Sunday. To purchase tickets, go to Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Gallardo challenging again with a fastball in a 2-strike count. And Jackson at least gets the bat off the shoulder this time, but comes up empty, swings right through it.
Steve Marufo on Twitter wants to say hi to Paul, Emily, Olivia, and Jacob. They all finished their homework early to watch the game tonight.
Very nice.
It's good incentive. And give a shout out to David Kavanaugh on Twitter, watching our broadcast tonight. And Jared Norton wants to know if you've got any hot dogs tonight, or brats, or any other cased meat.
Not yet. We're close enough to the field here. I feel like I have to be in good fielding position, and you know, having a brat or a hot dog or a beverage in my hand might inhibit my chances of making a play.
Oh, 2 to Barney. Bounced right back to the pitcher. And the Cubs go down in order in the 4th. 3-1 Milwaukee. Curious Bank, member FDIC. Having a great time in the Budweiser patio tonight. All the runs have come on a couple of homers. 3-run shot by this guy, Jeff Bianchi, the first of his career. Travis Wood with his first as a Cub. Leadoff shot in the third. Got a good question on Twitter from Sean Kroll. Do you rely on the monitor less in the booth for the call than when in the outfield? Yes, I do. I've been using the monitor a lot because we're, again, in a different vantage point. I mean, if we were out here every day, we would get used to the angle of the ball coming off the bat. But it's a different look, and I like it. It's a fresh look for us.
Well, to answer that question, I use the monitor a lot no matter where I'm at because I want to see what the fans are seeing at home. And sometimes there's something in the background of the picture, or I'll notice something the way a batter gets into the box or the way a pitcher grips a pitch. And if it's on the monitor, if the fans can see it at home, I feel like part of my job is to point that out to you people at home watching. And I watch a lot of the game on the monitor.
I have to always keep that in mind because, as you say, you want to talk about what people at home can see, but when you're calling the play, it's hard to look at the monitor and then look up and try to find the ball. So I try to keep my eyes on the field all the time, and occasionally I try to call the pitches when I can. Occasionally a changeup will look like a slider from my view, and Bob usually kicks me from under the desk and says, no.
I want to watch the monitor so I can get on the umpires when they miss calls.
Right. It's way outside on a fastball to Gallardo, who would like to return the favor after Wood took him deep. Brett Jackson in left center. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how'd you like to have dinner with the Cubs' Matt Garza? Just go to any Chicagoland Walgreens and look for the keyword at the Pepsi Max display. Then mail in the keyword to WGN, and you could be having dinner with Matt Garza from Pepsi Max, Walgreens, and WGN. Matt will not be back this season, dealing with the stress reaction behind his elbow, but he's here, and you know, he'd like to know by the end of the season that he's going to feel good going back home for the offseason and then into spring training next year. 2-out base hit for Aoki. That'll bring up Ricky Weeks.
Oh, that's just a thing of beauty. I love technology. I really do. Somebody spent a lot of time coming up with that particular idea. They ought to win the Nobel Peace Prize. That's amazing.
Wow. I like it. Bottoms up, they say, right?
I've heard that before. I've practiced that before. You know, the artificial heart, some of the other amazing technological advances, none of it tops that.
Pitch tracks.
Yeah, none of it.
Well, you get to this point in the season, if you're Ricky Weeks, you're batting .215. You probably have to maybe lower your statistical sights just a little bit. Not going to hit 300 this year. Last year he hit 269. With over 450 at bats into the year. Bank, the Curious Bank, member FDIC. Let's check out our Nissan drive of the game. Travis Wood has now homered in each of the last 3 seasons. Get to your Nissan dealer for special offers. Nissan innovation that excites. Visit ChooseNissan.com. The 1-0 pitch is outside. 2-0 on Travis Wood. Popped into right. Aoki coming in just a few steps. Both starters have settled in here in the middle innings. Now 9-0 in Pittsburgh. Pirates leading the Cardinals as they go to the ninth. Pedro Alvarez with 2 home runs. He's 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs. Good start for James McDonald. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. They're in the ninth in Miami. 9-0 Marlins over the Nationals. Steven Strasburg gave up 7 runs in 5 innings. 5 were earned. Ricky Nolasco's still on the mound. He's trying to complete the shutout. That would be the Nationals' 5th consecutive loss. They went into action tonight with a 5-game lead over the Braves. Ground ball to first, and Hart will take it to the bag in plenty of time.
Let's take a look at today's Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible player. On August 28, 1990, against the Astros, Ryan Sandberg becomes the first second baseman in baseball history with back-to-back 30 homer seasons. He went deep against right-hander Bill Gullickson in a 5-2 Cubs victory down at the Astrodome. The Anything's Possible player is brought to you by the Illinois Lottery, who each day make anything possible.
A strike on Valbuena. He's reached both times, caught stealing back in the first inning after a single and then walked in the third. He's had a good month. Making his 51st start at third base for the Cubs. Lays off the high heat. And it's 1-2. Gallardo lost his command a little bit in the second and third, walking 3 total. Nice play, and he's going to take that by himself. So he's now retired 7 in a row and leads 3-1. Box score. Brewers with a home run from their 8-hitter on a 3-0 pitch. And lead the game 3-1. The 2013 3 Series with X-Drive is here. Visit your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW Center today to test drive one. I'd say this is a tough part of this lineup. Braun, Ramirez, Hart have combined for 79 home runs already. One and one.
Yeah, somewhat of a break for the Cubs tonight. No Jonathan Lucroy in the lineup. Martin Maldonado doing the catching. Otherwise, you'd have to deal with him hitting after Corey Hart.
Popped up. And it's Darwin Barney. Joe Pausbach roaming around the Budweiser patio. Hi, Joe. On this beautiful night. I want to thank the Cubs and Budweiser for having us out here. Our great WGN Sports crew for getting our quote booth set up. Very comfortable. Well, they're going to go in on Ramirez, as you talked about earlier. Normally, we're there. It's rather quiet upstairs in the broadcast booth.
That's the way we like it, partner. Yeah, it's like when the parents go out of town and leave the teenage kids at home. You take that shot of the booth, I expected to see a disco ball and dancing. And
you know, Mike Clay's got it all to himself. We envision the pizza on the turntable, like 16 candles, Jake's house. On the ground to Rizzo. He'll underhand, and Wood beats Ramirez to the bag. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. They have to take a trip up there. There's the bottoms up dispenser you were talking about on the left. Hello.
they're talking about the magic beer dispenser. I know it. It's amazing. That thing will win some year-end awards for best technological advance in the history of mankind.
You have decided to have an awards ceremony. You just decided.
Yep.
Nice job by Travis Wood. He goes 1, 2, 3 again. Bob's favorite place on the planet.
today. If a Northside player hits a grand slam during the 6th inning, Gwendolyn Dawson of Algonquin, Illinois, will win a Mazda CX-5. Go to WGNTV.com/contest to enter for a chance to win a Mazda CX-5 in various games on WGN TV. You must be 18 to enter. Brought to you by your local Chicagoland area Mazda dealers. Load them up.
Yeah, let's see if the Cubs can get some base runners here. Giovanni Gallardo has been very effective with his curveball against the left-handed hitters, Rizzo and Jackson in particular. 1-1.
And not uncommon for a right-handed pitcher to rely more on the curveball against the lefties and the slider against the righties. That slider, a flat breaking ball coming into the bat of a left-handed hitter, can be very dangerous if you don't hit your spot. A little more margin for error with the curveball to a left-handed hitter.
Gallardo has walked 3 and has struck out 6. Two more in this series to follow. Tomorrow night, Mike Fiers and Jeff Samardzija. Fiers with a 2.98 ERA. Sean Markham and Brooks Raley will go on Thursday afternoon. We want to remind our WGN viewers that we will have a Saturday's game against the Giants at straight up 12 noon Central. Also a reminder to the fans coming out tomorrow night, 7:05 start. The Cubs are giving away to the first 3,000 kids through the gates UV protective swim shirts donated by the Pediatric Sun Protection Foundation. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Gallardo picks up his 7th strikeout. Giants and Cubs from Wrigley Field on Saturday. It's a holiday weekend. Giants 2.5 up on the Dodgers over in the West. Curve strike to Soriano. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8. Well, we have been telling you how deep Nori Aoki plays in right field. You feel like he can reach out and high-five him.
Well, you can see just a few steps in front of the warning track right below us down here. And he plays deep on everybody, not just the left-handed pull hitters, not just the power hitters, everybody in that Cubs lineup. He's got his heels against the warning track.
Ground ball, nice play by Bianchi. The throw to first is in time to end the inning. We go off to the 7th, still 3-1.
north side. Chasing those sweet things, so unsatisfied. Every time I try, crazy about a north side gal. I got some good talk, but not enough game. Ooh, in a sweet thing, oh, ain't it a shame? Every time I try, crazy about a north side gal. Well, she gets colder every time I try to hold her. Pleasantly saying no to hold a younger gentleman. Oh, look, I'm trying.
J.D. McPherson with Northside Gal, and that's our Bud Fan Cam, brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. Travis Wood got beaten on a 3-0 pitch to Jeff Bianchi back in the second inning for a 3-run homer. That's it, but it's been enough so far for Giovanni Gallardo. Breaking ball, missing to Maldonado, 2-1. We will originate the seventh inning stretch from the Budweiser patio. Three and one. Carlos Gomez on deck. Wood has thrown strikes. Still hasn't walked anybody. In fact, now over his last 4 starts as Alberto Cabrera gets loose, including tonight, he's walked a grand total of 2. Fouled off. Our biggest fans over in the bleachers. Another 3-2 to Maldonado. Diving stop. Valbuena. Long throw. Got him.
Nice diving play by Valbuena, playing deep at third base. Actually catches that ball behind his body as he made that dive toward the third base line. Strong throw across to Anthony Rizzo. Picks the short hop out of the dirt. That's a nice play.
He's made a couple of them tonight.
Yeah, because if he doesn't make that play, the Brewers have the leadoff man on at second base here in the 7th inning.
Castro this time deep and short to get Gomez. 2 down.
All right, Darwin Barney, it's your turn. Castro with a nice backhanded play. Another strong throw. Boy, he's really shortened up his setup. Watch him just plant that right foot and fire across to first base. Plenty of arm to get the speedy Carlos Gomez at first.
Bianchi takes a breaking ball outside. 4 RBIs in his career. They've all come over the last 2 nights. That's a strike. good rip at that fastball. It was up a little bit toward the outside part of the plate. 1-2. Ooh. Tough one to take, to say the least.
Everybody moving that time. Anthony Rizzo and Darwin Barney on the right side of the infield started toward the dugout. David DeJesus right in front of us was making a move toward the dugout. Very close pitch.
I think time was called by Chris Guccione. He vacated. He saw a ball get out of the Cubs bullpen. And quickly called time. Swing and a miss. Stretch time, partner.
Let's do it.
Tonight's guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game from the Budweiser patio, Len and Bob.
Hey, we're out here. Sing it loud, make Harry proud.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Get some runs. Bottom of the 7th, as Wellington Castillo takes a breaking ball in the dirt. Nice job, partner.
You too. That was fun. That was fun. We had a lot of backup singers out here at the Budweiser patio. That helps.
Both starters have been pretty good tonight. Gallardo's been a little better than Travis Wood to this point. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Driven to center and deep. Gomez has it.
Another thing I noticed out here, Len, from the press box, that basket looks pretty small, but it's a lot bigger than I realized. You know, there's quite a bit of room there for a home run ball to drop into that basket.
Yeah, you sometimes see an outfielder go back and look like he's going to make a catch, only to see the ball actually land in the basket. There's a good look.
Yeah, I guess I thought it was a little more vertical, you know, not quite as much room between the yellow stripe on the top of the basket and the bleachers themselves, but it does lean out there at quite an angle.
Missed badly. 2-0.
One of the many unique things we love about Wrigley Field.
Brett not real happy with that swing. Boy, you get up 2-0 and you can hit the ball out of the park. You hate to take a half swing.
Yeah, most hitting coaches would rather see you go ahead and let it go, even though that pitch was off the plate, up and in. Hit it in the upper deck, foul. Let the bat go.
On Twitter, Don Mesa says, how come Bob's always on the left and Len is on the right? Well, from our vantage point, it's the opposite, but that's a good question. See, because that's what the graphic says. We have to stand above our name on the screen.
I don't know why that is. It just
kind of happened.
Kind of happened, yeah.
See, I mean, if we switched,
oh, it'd all be messed up there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know who I was.
Oh, there you go. See?
Oh, geez.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cubs without a base runner since a Soriano walk way back in the 3rd. Come support the Cubs as they battle the Giants this Friday afternoon here at Wrigley Field. Game time 1:20, but come out early. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive Cubs lip balm, compliments of Apple Vacations. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. It is a foul ball. Clear night here in Chicago. This is the type of setting in which baseball was meant to be played. 72 degrees, slightly breezy.
Kind of makes you forget all those cold, windy days in April and May, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes you appreciate a night like this for sure. Giovanni Gallardo's getting stronger as the game has gone on. He's only allowed the homer to Travis Wood and leads 3-1. Brewers with his first career home run. Travis Wood with his third. Visit your local Chicagoland Honda dealer today and test drive a 2012 Honda Accord. Rookie right-hander Alberto Cabrera here in the 8th.
Well, this is another one of those solid outings for Travis Wood, with the exception of that 3-0 home run ball to Bianchi. He pitched an outstanding ball game tonight. Deserves a much better fate.
Looks like Niger Morgan's going to bat for Gallardo, so that's good news for the Cubs. Gallardo done after 7 innings, and he was fantastic again tonight.
And you mentioned the struggles of the Brewers bullpen. It's the best thing that could possibly happen. Doesn't matter who you face other than Giovanni Gallardo. You get into that pen, you feel like you got a much better chance. Looks like left-hander Manny Parra warming up right now.
You know, we have a great view of the Brewers bullpen. There's Parra under the watchful eye of Lee Tunnell, their bullpen coach. One and one on Morgan. Ground ball to Castro behind second. Close play, got him.
Don't miss the action as the Cubs take on the Giants this Saturday afternoon at Wrigley Field. Game time is 12:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs luggage tag, brought to you by United Airlines, proud to fly the Cubs. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Giants and Dodgers. A good battle out west. Aoki takes a fastball for a strike. Now talking about the Brewers bullpen, this Cubs bullpen needs to keep Milwaukee right where it is, leading by 2 late. There's Sean Camp. Already leads the majors with 65 appearances
this month. It only seems like it.
I did ask him if it means anything to him. Would it be special to lead the majors in appearances? He said no, not really. I think for him the quality of his appearances much more important than how many he happens to make. Back in 06 with Tampa Bay, tied for second in the American League was 75, and he's on pace to shatter his personal single season high.
And you could probably count on one hand the number of times he has not been really effective. He had that one really bad outing. Where was it just recently?
Against the Pirates.
Against the Pirates, yeah. But that was an anomaly. He has been really good, has limited the damage. More often than not, he's gotten his team back into that dugout quickly with 3 outs.
And it's been rare that he hasn't been available. Last night was one of those nights. Dale just decided he wasn't going to use him. Well, Aoki really leans over the plate as the pitch is being delivered. His hands are almost in the strike zone. Watch the knob of the bat and where it is when Cabrera's ready to pitch. Full count.
Yeah, also with that leg kick too that he has, Len, he tends to get that right foot out there very close to the inside corner of the plate.
Ground ball foul. Drilled into the gap out in right center. Jackson will field, spin, throw, and a pretty good throw to second, but Aoki's in. Two more hits tonight against the Cubs for Aoki.
All those moving parts that you see before the ball is delivered, but once he lets that bat go, a very quick level swing that time, producing a line drive into the gap in right center. Pretty nice play by Brett Jackson. Aoki runs extremely well. He was going to make it to second base easily, but that throw wasn't far behind. That's another thing. I played a little bit of outfield in my career, but I'm amazed when these guys, like on that play, Brett Jackson runs 30 or 40 steps to his left, picks up the ball, spins with his back to the infield, and makes a throw right on the money to his target. It's not like they're standing in the same position on every throw, throwing to the same target every time. They're moving to the right, their left, back and in. And to be able to make that kind of an accurate throw, even though they didn't get the out at second base, that's pretty remarkable to watch from this angle.
It is a final in Pittsburgh. 9-0 Pirates over the Cardinals. James McDonald got the win. And Yadier Molina suffered an injury. A home plate collision with Josh Harrison. Injured his neck, back, and shoulder.
Ooh. Former Cub farmhand Josh Harrison, we know he's a solid little guy and can build up a head of steam.
So he has a strained neck. It's the early diagnosis. Well, the Cardinals can ill afford to lose him for any length of time. Looks like it's Parra in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be a pinch hitter, then 3 consecutive lefties due up. Barely inside. That almost caught the corner. 2-1. Called strike, and Aoki steals third. That's significant with 1 out.
Yes, didn't make him stop. Looked like Castillo had time to make the throw to third base. I don't know that he would have gotten Aoki, but just can't let him get those walking leads off second base. As you said, with 1 out in the inning, he's in a position now. Cubs have to bring their infield in. Deep fly ball will score him. Ground ball through the infield will score him.
Here's Cabrera's 2-2. A sinker low.
In the past, I've referred to that as tunnel vision, Len. You bring especially a young pitcher into the ball game, and they're so focused on that pitch. I have to execute this pitch. They forget the big picture. They forget that they're actually playing a game, and there's other people on the field, and things are happening behind them. But they're so focused on executing that pitch that they don't make that runner stop out there at second base.
Inside, almost hit him. Ball 4.
Well, normally I'd say that's not all bad because it sets up a potential double play, but with Ryan Braun at the plate, you never want him up with runners on base.
Still having fun in the Budweiser patio tonight. So they'll talk it over as Braun is announced. And here comes Dale Swain. He's going to make a double switch. It's going to be Sean Camp along with Joe Mather. I think Camp's going to pitch. Mather will play somewhere else. 3-1. We'll be back. This year, Budweiser will donate $5,000 for every Cubs walk-off win to Folds of Honor. Find them at facebook.com/Budweiser to see how you can help support our nation's soldiers and veterans. Joe Mather now playing right. That'll move De Jesus over to center. And veteran Sean Camp takes over for Cabrera on the mound. First and third, one out. Sean Camp pitched for Dale Swain in the Pirates minor league system 10 years ago. I asked Sean if Dale's changed at all as a manager. He said he's exactly the same. He was even keeled then, very much in control. As a young manager, back in his late 30s at that time. Sean said, like now, Dale would give it to me straight even then. If you want to know where you stand with Dale Swain, just ask him. He'll tell you. Sliders off the corner outside, ball one. Sinker low, 2-0.
Braun grounded into a double play in his first at bat in the ball game back in the first inning after Ricky Weeks was hit by a pitch. A little 6-4-3 here.
Just can't get him to bite. 3-0. Ramos Ramirez on deck.
Yeah, no doubt Ryan Braun will have the green light here, 3-0, if he gets a pitch to his liking. And Sean Camp is well aware of that. And if Jeff Bianchi has the green light, 3-0, you know Ryan Braun does. Manny Parr's had a seat, and now Francisco Rodriguez appears to be the next in line for the Brewers. Well, normally Ricky Weeks is a stolen base threat. He picks his spots well, 8 out of 8 on the season, but you got to believe they're going to let their big boy swing the bat here without any distractions.
Orioles beat the White Sox again tonight, 6-0 the final. Adam Jones with his 100th career home run. So they beat Chris Sale. Even with a loss, he's still 15-5. White Sox have dropped 5 in a row on the road. And the Orioles will be one of our subjects on Stats Sunday coming up this weekend. Now they've got Weeks. Barney will get it to Castro. Tag applied. Throw to the plate. Late. So there are 2 outs, but a big insurance run as Aoki scores.
Well, it's a great job by Ricky Weeks to stay hung up in that rundown long enough. Aoki had a false start toward home right there. Darwin Barney evacuated the rundown, then got right back in it again. Yeah, Castro just trying to throw back across his own body. Couldn't get much on the throw. Short hops it to Castillo. And Aoki in with another Brewers run.
So Weeks caught stealing. Aoki scores on a fielder's choice. 3-2 on Braun. Nobody on. And he pops it up. So Rizzo makes the catch to end the inning. But the Brewers add to their lead. It's now 4-1.
Cubs.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Cubs.com shop.
4-1 Milwaukee. Our annual bleacher broadcast, but this time a little twist at night and in the Budweiser patio in right. As K-Rod, without his goggles, is on to pitch. Apparently recently broke his goggles by accident. They were sitting in his glove. And after a bad outing, he slammed down the mitt and realized, whoops. Up the glasses in there. He pitched last night in the 7th and did not give up a run. His teammates call him Super Joe Mather. I guess he can do it all. He got the final out in the top of the 9th last night. Gave up a hit to Bianchi on a hanger, and then got Maldonado on a ground ball fielder's choice.
He had thrown a curveball strike earlier in the sequence to Bianchi, but then hung the last one. He'll work on that on his next bullpen session. Tighten up the rotation on that curveball a little bit.
Popped up behind the plate and out of play. We got a nice tweet from Eric Bartram who says, guys, Paulie, your stage manager, should definitely get more airtime. Cute, cute, cute. We agree.
How about that?
There she is. And she's a little embarrassed. Can't be behind the scenes when you're out here in the Budweiser patio.
She's never shy around us. She bosses us around, tells us what to do and when to do it.
Hart in foul territory. Makes a catch. And we got so many emails about Frank Leone. He said when you shoot him, make sure somebody stands right in front of the camera. There he is. Hi, Aramis. Pretty high-powered lens there behind third base.
Put the whammy on him.
Focus. Up and in on to Jesus.
It's important for players. It's very important for cameramen.
Fastball strike. Outer third. Oh, another collision. Matt Kemp. He collided with the wall at Coors Field and had to leave the game. It was a Josh Rutledge triple. Full speed, ran into the padding.
Well, fortunately, did it at Coors Field and not here.
Now the only padding out here Izzy Ivy. And that's what's behind it.
I talked to Brett Jackson the other day. He ran into the wall a couple of games ago trying to make a play, jammed his wrist slightly up against the bricks out there. He was saying there's not much between you and those bricks. He says you see the green, you see the leaves, you see the vines, you think, well, there's a little bit of padding there, but that's not the case.
A chopper right to the mound. Rodriguez looks it in before throwing to Hart, 2 away. Hey, stay tuned right after our broadcast. The WGN News, Micah Mater, Tom Negevin, Tom Skilling, and Dave Ennett. Mr. Skilling will have the update on Isaac. Two outs, it's Luis Valbuena. 30,017. The paid crowd here tonight. Not much happening offensively for the Cubs. The only run coming on a Travis Wood homer in the third. You ever done an entire baseball broadcast standing up?
Nope.
It's the first for me too.
I managed a lot of games standing up for 9 innings.
Feel like a DJ. We go to the ninth, 4-1 Milwaukee. Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Illinois Lottery. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. Underway in the ninth. The 0-1 pitch to Aramis. He grounds to Luis Valbuena. 1 away. Brewers closing in on what would be their 12th win against the Cubs this season. And their 7th in a row. Corey Hart has doubled and is 1 for 3. Hey, the Evansville Pate American Legion are watching us tonight down in Indiana. Slider, strike one. Comeback sinker outside. Well, your friend Bob Melvin, I'm sure, is sleeping pretty well right now. Not easy to sleep when you're in a pennant race, but his pitching staff's now gone 22 consecutive innings without allowing a run. The A's shut out the Indians 7-0.
That's good managing.
Tommy Malone got the win. Fly ball center field to Jesus. And a second out.
Well, on this day in 2008, the Cubs game against the Phillies right here at Wrigley was the first game to be played with the use of video replay available to the umpires. It was only used on fair or foul home runs, balls in or out of the ballpark, and fan interference determinations. But with any luck, this will be the epicenter of full-time video replay.
Camp gets Maldonado, who was fortunate that ball didn't hit him right in the stomach. They go down in order. Last chance now for the Cubs in the bottom of the ninth, down 3. Take it away.
Without a doubt, the best play of the year. This is remarkable. One of the greatest technological advances in the history of mankind. Oh, my. I love baseball.
I don't think we'll be back out here again.
Oh.
Well, John Axford regained his closer role last week, got back-to-back saves against the Cubs, but then he got taken out of their game Friday night that gave up a couple of runs at Pittsburgh. By the way, Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. It is a save chance as he faces Anthony Rizzo. It's the first pitch on the ground to Hart. And he'll take it by himself. Tough night for Rizzo. 3 strikeouts and a ground out. Here's Soriano.
Anthony may have to at least start to think about changing his mental approach at the plate. He's getting a lot of slow breaking balls from this Brewers pitching staff throughout the last 2 series. The one up in Miller Park last week and the first 2 games of this one. It's really lulling him to sleep with a lot of slow breakers.
Axford's 0-1. Breaking ball outside in the dirt, 1-1. At one point, Axford saved 49 in a row. That streak ended against the Cubs back on May 11th. Stands as the 4th longest save streak in history. Eric Gagne, 84 in a row. Still remarkable. Tom Gordon, 54. Jose Valverde with 51 straight. Didn't you guys break Gagne's streak? I think you did.
Yes, we did.
Foul tip, strike 3. And again, the Cubs have struck out 10 times against the Brewers.
Well, Axford's a different looking cat than when we saw him earlier this year with the Billy Goat goatee and the droopy mustache and the long hair, but the stuff is still the same. Fastball in the mid to upper 90s. 2 good breaking pitches, a slider and a curveball.
I count 62 Cubs strikeouts against the Brewers over the last 4 games.
Wow.
There's at 5. I think it'd be 5. Yeah, 3 in Milwaukee and 2 here.
What was it, 38 in that series in Milwaukee, 37 or 38 in a 3-game series?
37 and then 15 last night, 10 tonight. 97 for a strike, 1-1. There's been a lot of drama when he's been on the mound this year in the 9th. He's trying to keep it drama free with a 3-run lead. In the dirt, 2-1. Here it is. Fastball fouled back. Our producers Mark Brady, our directors Skip Ellison, Doug Stanton, our associate producer, Bob Vorwald hanging with us out here in the Budweiser patio, our executive producer, Vice President and General Manager of WGN Television, Marty Wilkie. And again, great work by our entire crew. We'll be back with you on Saturday against the Giants from our normal perch in the broadcast booth high atop the ballpark. Called strike 3 to end it. So the Brewers have now beaten the Cubs 7 straight times, 12 of 15 on the year. And the final score tonight, Milwaukee 4 and the Cubs 1. We'll have more from Wrigley Field in a moment.